In this issue of Nova, for Nova November, we're looking at Nova number 7. The title says Nova, but the inside say a totally different comic book altogether. So this was printed for the month of July 1994. And inside we have the group that he's a part of, and for some reason my brain's farting right now. I can't even think of it. This one's called Time and Time Again, 6 of 8. It's also got another title that's like part 1 of, or part 2. I think we're at part 2 of something. Because I just read this, went inside, took a little break. Nova, All That Was and Never Will Be, Act 2 is what it is. So, the New Warriors is what this comic book feels more like we're reading. While the new team of the New Warriors, Turbo. Now, I'm sitting here thinking, Turbo was a dude in ROM. I don't know who Bandit is. I don't know who Hindsight Lad is. I know who Darkhawk is. And Dagger, I know who she is. And at the end, she has a tiff with cloak over the whole thing. And Power Packs. So Power Pack grew up and became one person. I do vaguely remember reading about this, but I never read it from a first-hand perspective. So it seems like Alex grew up. I think that's Alex, right? Because it does say Alex Powers later. So anyway, I'm just trying to think of what his siblings are called. But I only read the first few of Power Packs. It was interesting, but they grew up much slower than I did. And I was, by the time I was 16, I was like, nah, this is not for me. So in this comic book, we got 3 different stories, which is really interesting. It's more like reading something from the Golden Age or the Silver Age, where you had more than one story in a book instead of like nowadays where there's several stories. But at the same time, I am really lost because I didn't read part 1 of this. In this world, we have Nova has found himself on a world where he never lost his powers, but has comes close to lose a lot more. We also have another story in here, Firestar is in colonial America during the Salem witch trials, 1600s. And she's scantily dressed. It's like whoever's drawn this, this was obviously the day before the internet, because people are trying to draw every woman in scantily dressed clothing and trying to get away with it. Rage is in Africa. Now, I feel like his name was something else before, but he's called Rage. And I'm like, I swear he was called something different in... Anyway, so Rage is in Africa, seeing that his people are being hunted down and captured for the slave trade, and learning that some of his own ancestors have become responsible for it. So he's finding out the truth about slavery, that it wasn't just white on black. It was, it was a lot more deep than that. It'd be nice if things were simple. All right, so halfway across the perimeter. So we got the first story is about Nova, and he's basically talking to himself. I don't really know who's from what universe. Their suits are slightly different. He's got the face mask up. He's got the clear mask up. He's got the 3 energy stars. So that might be one way of figuring out from the cover which one's our Richard, which I swear I always called him Rick Ryder. When did they... Am I wrong? Let me know, somebody. Because everything I've read this month so far has been Rich Ryder. I'm like, I swear, maybe I misread it when I was a kid, but I swear it was Rick Ryder before. Just tell me if I'm wrong. So this must be the Nova that's not the Nova from this comic. If that makes any sense. I don't know what happened. I don't know how there's 2 Richards, but they're both rich. They call each other rich constantly. And they're talking about how we're alike and we're not alike, and one of them's been in the business a lot longer than the other. And yeah, I really, it's a little confusing at first. And this is where I don't have a clue which one's saying this, because they're talking about, I can change my configuration. So the little lightning around him makes me think it's him. But then, I don't know. Like I said, it's a confusing read since I missed the first one. Basically, the older Rich is helping the newer Rich. I don't know if they're younger or older, just the one who's been more experienced. Because when he crashed down on this Earth, for instance, or the moon, he's like, you can't even land on your own 2 feet. And I have a cat that just, as soon as I start talking, what is it with my talking and the cat saying, oh, he's telling me to come over here and maybe let me pet him. All right. But anyway, so it's like I said, it's very confusing. It's like watching The Parent Trap, except both of the people are the exact same name. They're both Novas. They're both rich. There's a slight difference in their uniforms, but still, it's like, I don't know. I just don't know what's going on. Now, this was a real treat. I wish, you can't even get a comic book for $2.99 these days, much less a pizza and a comic book. Oh, if only I could just go back to 1994. You can get a single topping personal pan pizza, a 16-ounce Marvel Hero cup filled with a soft drink, a different cup each week. Look at that. Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and glowy face bald man. And then a Marvel custom comic complete with trading cards featuring Hulk, Captain America, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. And more. One each week, collect all 4. Oh, I miss Pizza Hut so much. I just miss it so much. We have, our Pizza Huts are like Domino's pizzas now. They're not, I think we have one uptown in Charlotte, but right here is where I can walk to it. I can literally walk to it if I wasn't so old and fat and lazy. It's only about a 6/10 of a mile that way to go to the Domino's pizza. So if I get pizzas from Domino's, and they're great, I love Domino's, but if I want to sit down somewhere else to eat with friends, Pizza Hut was the place to go. It's sadly no longer indoor eating. All right, so that story was basically, oh my God, my cat, he looked like he was dancing. That was hilarious. He was jumping to try to attack a bug, but he jumped so freaking high in the air. Oh man, you missed it. I wish I could have. I need to have my head on a swivel more. Anyway, so he teaches him how to use the Stargate. So that's about the only thing I can get out of that one. This one is Rage and Original Sin. Is Rage a replacement character for the other guy? I swear there was another guy that had a totally different name, or maybe he changed his name. Anyway. And they do say continue to this in issue 49 of, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've not read that far into, I thought he was doing something else funny. I've not read past like the first, whatever the Egyptian thing did. I read all 3 of those because those were great. And I read a few of the original ones. So basically he's got a lot to ponder because he's learning things that were never taught to him by his grandma about how, it was the crimes against his own people, but were actually perpetrated by his ancestors. So he never took that into consideration before. And this one's called Witch Hunt. So evidently I need the issue before this, and I don't have it. So Witch Hunt Act 2, Firestar. So wait a minute, was this also Act 2? I didn't even catch on to that. Anyway, and it says end. So whatever this little side story is, it's ending. This one also doesn't quite make too much sense. Basically, this is a witch. I thought it was Agatha, like she's really old, so maybe this is just one of her many years. She's trying to tell Firestar that, you may not be a witch, but you're not accepted. And look at, again, my gosh, can you wear any less clothing than that? I'm like, are they trying to push a PG-13 to a R? Okay, anyway. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Beavis and Butthead were so funny. Oh my gosh, I know you're sitting there like, well, this, but see, Beavis and Butthead, they're just so stupid. It's just so funny. Sorry, I can't believe I snorted. I only snort when it's really funny. I don't know. There's just a back and forth conversation with this witch and how she's going to kill off some of her own people to purge the something, make witches more strong or something. I don't know. It didn't quite make sense. This is not the best comic, and it may just be that I'm coming in on the second half and I really wish I had the first half. But basically she leaves it with the fact that she feels like she'll always never be accepted, I think. So it says, but I do sense that soon you'll go back to where you belong. This is the witch talking to her. And I thank you for helping me find my way. I pray, which is ironic, the witch would say that when you do return to your world, in some small measure, my words will have helped you find your way as well. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in her life. I really don't. And at the very end, we're kind of coming back to the beginning. We're making a full circle to the Legion of Substitute Heroes for this group, the New Warriors. And we got basically a cat fight, or a boyfriend-girlfriend fight between Tyrone and Tandy over, I don't want to be on this team. Well, I do. You know, it's like that kind of thing. Well, she wants to be part of a social group. And he's like, I don't care. I don't want to be around people. Oh, look, my cats are fighting. It's the Tiger Twins. I gotta get rid of that car. All right, so. And they were saying that, well, you wanted him to teleport us to Africa, I think is what they were going, to Egypt. He says, well, we can use Alex Power instead. And call me Hindsight, lad, Danielle. Hey, how did you know my name? And more importantly, I don't have the teleportation powers. Of course you do. You just don't know it. I don't know who Hindsight lad is. He's like somebody who sees things the way they could have been. I don't know. And then here's the guy saying, it might be a moot point anyway. I've been scanning the scrambled Pentagon satellite transmissions. They lost all surface contact with their receivers in the region. So this might be right before the issues I read, because 49, I don't know. I've read 3 issues in a row all about the Egypt thing, and I swear it was earlier than this. Because 49 seems like it's past. I think mine was like 16, 17, 18, somewhere around that area. Bye, Nova. It's been a blast, Fabian. So Egypt disappeared, and they're fighting. What is this with them fighting the Egyptian people all the time? So this is the male version. It does speak about the female version, which was the main protagonist or antagonist in the issues I read of New Warriors. Anyway, sorry I can't be more excited about this. It's just kind of confusing, and I wish, you know, but one day I'll probably end up with the first comic, number 6. I do have this one, number 8. I think I'm gonna take a break for the day. I just wanted to sit down and just relax and chill out and read about Nova. But I felt like I was reading more about the New Warriors.